17 Republican presidential candidates are going to get some elbow room in Quicken Loans Arena tonight as they take to the stage in, of course, the two debates. They had to split it because there's so many people. We are less than 2 hours away from debate number one. Many of the White House hopefuls have been really looking to have real experience, and some of them already have it as state governors. With jobs and the economy at the top of Americans' minds, does that give them a leg up? Joining us now, two former governors, Fox News contributor Evan Bayh, Democrat of Indiana, and in a Fox Business exclusive, Tim Pawlenty, Republican of Minnesota. You may remember Governor Pawlenty ran for president in the 2012 elections. Welcome to you both. Governor Pawlenty, have you recovered from that, from 2012? We're still taking the Alka-Seltzer.
I'm still working on it, but with therapy and lots of beer, it's improving slightly.
Exactly. Well, looking today, I'll begin with you, Governor Pawlenty, because you're the Republican here. Do the governors who are going to take the stage, whether it's Rick Perry or Chris Christie or former Governor Mike Huckabee, do they have a leg up because they've balanced budgets before?
Well, maybe a little. I think being an executive obviously is great training and great experience for being president of the United States, so that helps. It also puts you in a command position, an executive position. That might help your cadence, your executive decision-making, the way you present things. So that may help intangibly. But here's the downside, or at least the thing that minimizes that. Most voters really don't value that as much as they should, that executive experience. Unfortunately, we're increasingly seeing voting behavior being driven by entertainment and, sound bites and, attacks.
Okay, that's a little bit of a swipe at Donald Trump, and that's okay.
No,
Governor,
it's not.
Come on. Who's the most entertaining? Him and Rand Paul, right?
But even before that, there's a fusion of entertainment, news, and politics, and you have to certainly be substantive. You have to be qualified for the job. Executive experience helps, but you also got to be entertaining. That's just a minimum threshold requirement.
You could argue, Governor Bayh, that Bill Clinton was entertaining, Ronald Reagan was entertaining, and Governor Bush was. I would simply say that as a governor yourself, you know what it takes to balance a budget. Americans say the economy matters and job creation matters. Who stands to get that answer right tonight from where you sit, Governor Bayh?
I think the former governors, well, the current governors as well, have a big leg up, Liz. Over the last half century, 50 years, we've elected one sitting United States senator president. We've elected a lot more governors. And that's because I think the American people, particularly at this important time, want results. Who can get the job done? They know all these people on the stage want to be president. The question is, why do they want to be president, and what do they intend to do? And do they have the experience and the character to get us to a better place, particularly economically, with the stagnant wages that we've had, which have pressed, hard-pressed middle-class families in Minnesota and Indiana and elsewhere across the country for a long time. So I think a lot of the viewers will be tuning in. Some will be looking for entertainment value, but some will be looking for the next president. So who is the adult in the room who will be presidential? I think that's the key question. I think governors, because of the executive experience, have a leg up. Governor
Pawlenty, Chris Christie of New Jersey, Bobby Jindal of Louisiana, and Scott Walker of Wisconsin actually have terrible approval ratings in their own state. Governor Kasich of Ohio has a very good approval rating. Why should those gentlemen be elected president if those who know them best, their own constituents, are not happy?
Well, it's actually a pretty common phenomenon, with the exception of Governor Kasich in Ohio. Once you start running for president, your folks in your home state think you're neglecting your job, and they start to look cross-eyed on you. So that doesn't happen always, but it happens often. Did that happen to you? It did. And go ahead. But you look at their records. You look at the records of Governor Christie, and they've got a very positive things they can say. Some of their states have challenges as well. But people in many states don't like their home state politicians having eyes on higher office. They want them to tend to their business at home.
Governor Bayh, as we finish up, the Democrats have announced their debate schedule. Any chance they can glean as much heat and attention as this one?
I think that's kind of unlikely, unless we offer a place to the Donald on our stage, too.
As moderator.
But, as a matter of fact, our party may be well served to just say, look, we're going to cut back on our debates, and we'll let the Republicans have a few more as long as he's still in the race. So, no, in terms of just, pure, interest, it's going to be hard to compete with this. The question is how the Republican field winnows. If you ask my opinion, Liz, what you asked earlier, I'd say, Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, John Kasich, maybe Marco Rubio. You put all them together, and that's probably a 90% chance. On the Democratic side, it's kind of Hillary Clinton is generally considered to be the nominee in waiting, and that's never quite as entertaining as having a sort of a free-for-all that you have currently on the Republican side.
Well, we're all watching tonight. I guess you gentlemen will be too. Governor Evan Bayh, former governor of Indiana, Tim Pawlenty, former governor of Minnesota, with just a little bit of Alka-Seltzer thrown in the beer to get over what happened in 2020.